Hello again, everyone. Welcome again to Qtrik's second annual Zero Emission Bus Technologies and Transit Operations Conference. Yet another reminder that we've got closed captions available in both French and English. You can enable this tool by clicking directly below the video stream. By the way, my name is Soumya Bhavsar. I am project manager on the Pan-Canadian Fuel Cell Bus Demonstration and Integration Trial at Qtrik. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to our next exhibit for the day, this one by our gold sponsor, HDR Corporation. Again, as a reminder, I'm joining you from Calgary. And yeah, in the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that we live, work, and play on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, including Siksika, Kainai, and Piikani, the Tsuut'ina Nation, the Îyârhe Nakoda Nation, the Métis Nation Region 3, and all people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta. Again, I'd like to thank HDR for sponsoring this event, and we have with us Jonathan Chai, who is the Transportation Planning Business Class Lead at HDR. Jonathan, welcome to the conference.
Thank you, Soumya. And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jonathan Chai, Transportation Planning Lead at HDR, and hope you are enjoying Qtrik's second annual ZED conference so far. So just to introduce you to HDR in terms of who we are and what we do, we're an engineering and architecture consulting firm who bring a full suite of services to our clients, including all of the expertise required to deliver zero emissions fleet transition plans, bus maintenance and storage facility, architecture and design, and charging infrastructure design. We believe that anything is possible through collaboration with our clients and with industry partners, and we are a proud sponsor of Qtrik and their mission to advance the next generation of zero carbon mobility and transportation solutions across Canada. So with over 100 years in business, we have 10,000 employees in over 200 offices around the world, bringing global solutions to the local communities that we live, work, and play in. In Canada, we've been operating for over 25 years since 1996, and we offer services to clients from 10 locations from coast to coast. Our services include a broad spectrum of services in the main categories of transportation, resources, and water. And I'll highlight a couple of key ones relevant to the conference. Firstly, our strength in transportation includes planning and design of smart multimodal solutions, highlighted by the high-profile regional transportation plans, such as the Ministry of Transportation's Greater Golden Horseshoe Transportation Plan, which was just released, I think, last week now, as well as the Edmonton Metro Regional Board's Integrated Transportation Master Plan. We also specialize in transit-oriented area mobility plans, and these areas are prime for implementing the low-carbon smart mobility solutions that Qtrik is advocating for. And finally, complete street planning and design. We have also ranked top 6 in North America in transit for several years and are currently delivering 2 of the largest transit projects in North America. The Ontario Line as technical advisor to Metrolinx and Infrastructure Ontario, as well as program manager for Project Connect in Austin, Texas. We've also delivered or are delivering over 20 zero-emission fleet transition planning projects in the United States, including 2 in Canada, in BC Transit and for Durham Region Transit. Leveraging our expertise in zero-emissions mobility technology in vehicles, charging infrastructure and hydrogen, our own proprietary Zero Plus fleet optimization tool, expertise in bus facility design with over 900 bus garages on our resumes, and economics to assess life cycle cost estimates to guide your fleet transition. And just highlighting a few more areas of expertise, aligning with Qtrik's Rail Innovation Initiative, we have several experts in heavy rail and have on-call contracts with CN and CP, and are also currently doing some work at the Port of Vancouver. We also help our clients design, develop, and operate power infrastructure, including electric vehicle and electric bus chargers, and in some other areas of power as well, including hydroelectric dams. We're also innovating for rail clients, using tools to optimize rail logistic challenges, and we can apply these tools to many of our rail projects. And we're also quite strong in waste planning and management. Some of the projects we've done include the long-term waste management strategies for City of Toronto and City of Ottawa, and also Durham Region's energy from waste plant. And this is relevant to this conference because refuse collection vehicles are another important area for zero-emission fleet transitions. And HDR brings the right experience in waste management planning and operations to support this next frontier of zero-emission fleet transitions. And finally, I just want to touch on our culture and our people. We believe in doing the right things for the right reasons and understand that we have a responsibility through our work to ultimately improve the quality of life of the communities that we live, work, and play in. I first heard Josipa speak at a Toronto Region Board of Trade breakfast session right before the pandemic hit, and her passion for zero emissions transit was really inspiring. And I knew after hearing her speak that it was an area that we needed to focus more on, building on our work on a few projects in the US at the time. And I'm really proud to say that we've really expanded our work in this area. And being a part of KeyTrick has been instrumental in that. And so I just want to close to say that we at HDR are proud to be one of the industry partners supporting KeyTrick, and happy now to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Great to learn a bit more about HDR and the work that you do. I was wondering if you can shed some more light on any standout case studies from your experience, either in the USA or in Canada. Any specific, supporting infrastructure development projects that HDR may have done that stand out, either supporting fuel cell buses or battery electric buses, or maybe even RNG, if you have any studies to share there.
Yeah, maybe I'll just start by saying, and some of the work that we're doing is still in development and ongoing, so I can't share details of that. But I will say that it has been really inspiring and interesting to hear about some of the work that's going on through some of the demonstration trials, for example, in Mississauga, and hearing from the mayor this morning about the hydrogen trial that's going on there, and that hydrogen more and more is becoming seeing more potential, I guess, when it comes to being viable. Because the battery electric buses are certainly the technology is proven. It's in operation in many places, especially in the United States as well. And there's a little bit more comfort there. The problem right now is the range, right? And we all know that we've been listening to a lot of the challenges that we see through a lot of the talks at this conference. But hydrogen has the potential to be a much more easier solution, I guess, when it comes to operations, because the ranges are more similar to diesel, essentially. The problem is sourcing the fuel itself. So it was interesting to hear from TTC as well, speaking on that, and I guess I see that potential there if more agencies in the GTA support hydrogen as one of the alternative solutions for zero emission fleet transitions, that could make hydrogen more and more viable to more people when the fuel source scales up to meet the demand across the GTA. And it was interesting as well, just the talk about compressed natural gas and renewable natural gas as another alternative source. And I heard not yet fully supported by the federal government, perhaps, but maybe there's some work to do there as well to make that another option. We need to know what these options are in order to find the right solutions for our clients, for the transit agencies around the table, to make this happen sooner, because the climate change emergency is here, as we all know, and we need to make these things happen.
Well, seeing how the US has been leading a bit more compared to Canada when it comes to a lot of these kinds of projects and deployments. If you can, it'd be great if you can please shed some light on, how collaboration works internally at HDR and how you leverage strengths from your American offices and projects in America, and vice versa as well. If there's any particular thing you'd highlight on that front, that'd be great as well.
Yeah, certainly. And I think the way that HDR is structured, we very much have a collaborative culture. I know some organizations similar to us are more siloed in their thinking, I guess, in terms of, we're going to deliver this project out of our US offices and we just focus on that there, right? But the way that we're structured, and these are kind of, minutia when it comes to corporate details and stuff like that. But even just charging timesheets like that is, it goes a long way to the way that we structured it makes it easy for us to do that when it comes to working with our experts in the US who have delivered these types of projects, to have them lead projects in Canada. We're able to do that, and we're able to bring these global resources to our clients in the GTA and in BC, across Canada, because we've structured ourselves corporately to be able to do that more easily. So I think that goes a long way to essentially practicing what we preach when it comes to bringing the solutions that have been effective across the world to our local clients.
For sure. That said, it'd also be great if you're able to shed some light on, your specific experience working with city councils and transit agencies, and if you feel like HDR can leverage its experience on that front easily, what kind of value you're able to bring on that front.
No, it's an interesting question. And then just reflecting back on my own career and kind of where we've been to where we are today. When I started my career 17 years ago, we were all kind of just modeling how much growth is happening in our respective areas, and just kind of modeling it and planning for widening the roads and stuff like that. And we've really come a long way when it comes to, integrating land use and transportation, and making sure that the land use supports transit initiatives, that we don't just build out a wide right-of-way to accommodate both traffic and transit. We really need to think about the land use that supports the transit, right? And city councils are more and more wrapping their heads around this idea. I think there's still I guess I'll say a car culture that's there. And that's, there's still some politics around there where councils are elected on certain agendas and whatnot. But I will say that more and more that there is more and more momentum and recognizance of the climate change emergency, as I said earlier, just across all tables, and recognizing that fleet transition is part of the solution, in addition to building more walkable communities, 15-minute communities where you're able to make sustainable mobility choices, essentially, and making transit the first choice for longer distance trips through the right land use policies is really important. And making that transit green and sustainable is even more important when we build our cities the right way to make mobility sustainable across all communities in Canada and North America and the world.
Great to hear, that deep understanding of priorities at city councils and priorities from an urban planning perspective, which then feed into transit project developments. I'm sure HDR must bring a wealth of experience on that front as well, especially with architecture being one of the domains there as well. But yes, that said, I'd really like to thank you, Jonathan, for joining us. And I'd also like to thank audience members here for joining the sponsor exhibit. Ultimately, if you missed it, I'm also thrilled to share that QTRIC's been named the National Planning Service for Infrastructure Canada's Zero Emission Transit Fund. So we're excited to support transit agencies and municipalities alongside alongside organizations such as HDR to plan their way to a zero-emission transit fleet. And so to learn more, you can also contact us via email or visit our website. And we look forward to continued dialogue at the networking session at 3:30 Eastern Time. And before the networking session, we also look forward to continued discussions on a variety of these transit technologies, including hydrogen and battery electric buses, with the and as well as autonomous shuttles, with the very next panels on the agenda for today. Yeah, so thanks again, Jonathan, and we look forward to your continued participation and hope you all enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.